What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bugcatcher Carter, a one-of-a-kind YouTube channel where I copy the trends in Pokemon. So I'm just like everybody else, really. You can find me posting very irregularly here on this channel every few time periods. I have no set cadence, and I know they say you gotta have a set schedule so people know when to find your content, but my mind is a chaotic wasteland of ideas and thoughts, and that is very hard for me to conform to. So I'm just gonna try and churn out something because I have been getting a lot of great feedback. So I want to say thank you to anyone who's watched this channel. If you've left comments, if you've appreciated any of the things that I've talked about or broken down, that's been really nice to hear. Honestly, I need the encouragement because I'm weak. I'm just weak. And without a little bit of validation, you just can't even get that engine started. But look at this little peek behind the curtains. I hate to say it, but am I going exponential here? Are we looking at another GameStop type trajectory on my view count? Shh, don't tell your mom. Let's talk about Battle Styles, the newest set dropping on March 19th. Pre-release build and battle kits coming out tomorrow, March 5th. So you should be able to get some of these boosters and start getting these cards as soon as tomorrow, assuming that your cards have any or your card shops have any stock, which I know is not a given. In fact, very unlikely. That is an unfortunate state of the hobby right now. There's just a lot of hype. It's not unique to Pokemon. If you're kind of exclusively focused on Pokemon, you might think it is, but actually it's just collectibles in general. It's just as bad with sports cards. I've recently been getting into basketball cards. It's just as bad. I have another video that I'll be making about Pokemon and late stage capitalism, where I'll break down all the hype, why there's so many people jumping onto these collectible hobbies or GameStop stocks or NFTs or cryptos, just anything that looks like it's a graph pointed upward. People are like salivating to get on top of that. That's for another video. Let's talk Battle Styles. Guys, they hyped the wrong set. Let me say it again. They hyped the wrong set. Shining Fates, I'm already sick of it. Coming in hot right off the top. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like Shining Fates. I know there's a lot of YouTube content being created around the hype of Shining Fates. Shining Pokemon, they're different colors. Have you ever seen a black Charizard? Have you ever seen a My Little Pony fairy Ponyta thing? I know it's tight. It is, but dude, the shinies are getting played out. And I think part of the problem for me was Hidden Fates was such a good set, and Shining Fates is just Hidden Fates, but not quite as good. Battle Styles is everything I'm looking for, and I'll tell you why. 2 words, and there's some alliteration here, which is fun. Alternate art, baby. Alternate art. That's what it's all about. The Pokemon Company realizes it. Took them 4 or 5 sets in Sword and Shield to get there, but we got there. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So you have V cards, you have V Max cards, you have full art versions of those cards, which are really colorful with some sort of spirally background of magic dust. And then you have secret versions of the V Max cards that are the rainbow rares. But these art treatments and styles we see replicated across many different Pokemon. When you collect them all together, yeah, it looks cool in like a binder set because there's a lot of cohesion with all the full art Vs, all the full art VMAXs, all the secret VMAXs, but individually they lack character in my opinion. And because you've seen so many rainbow cards, it just kind of starts to look like every other rainbow card you've seen. But what Pokemon can do to really switch it up artistically is create what's called alternate art versions of these cards. So on my screen, you'll see the set list for Battle Styles, which has been released a couple days now. So show me what you could do if you completely recreated the artwork for that card with really no limits. You could include other Pokemon, you could include a setting, a background, you could include some unique perspective. What would it look like? You hire on some really elite artists and illustrators that have worked on other animes or other really cool video game projects. Well, let me show you what it looks like. What a card. Look at this thing. It is epic. The color palette, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Cramorant's flying around with fish in his mouth. There's a giant waterfall in the background here. And birds and Who knows what this little guy is? Water splashing up all over the place. There's probably like Easter eggs in here to discover the more you look at it. Here's a Corviknight that I barely even noticed because it blends in with the color of Urshifu's little tights or garters, whatever that is. And then he's got these swirls coming around his arms. He's doing some sort of yoga pose. I don't really understand exactly what's going on. I just know it's awesome. It's so cool. It's such a unique interpretation of what this card could be, with a very comic book style, graphic novel style to it. Something that you would like rip a page out of an anime, and this is what you would end up with. I'm kind of hyping this up a lot. This isn't the first set to ever include alternate arts. It's just the first time in Sword and Shield that we've seen them come back. Here is another awesome alternate art, Urshifu VMAX Single Strike. It's epic. There's lightning and clouds in the background. Like I said, they've chosen a much more distinct color palette. Feels more artistic to me. It feels like they just spent a lot of time creating an incredible pose and art treatment for this card. His mouth is glowing, his eyes are glowing. It's insane. It's awesome. And I've looked up some of these artists too. So if you'll see here, this is an artist by the name of Kinu Nishimura, and I looked him up. Kinu Nishimura, who is a Japanese video game and anime concept artist and illustrator, and he's worked on some of the Capcom fighting games. Street Fighter, I think, falls under that. Iconic, right? The other artist who designed the other Urshifu VMAX card is Kiyotaka Oshiyama, who has worked on some really awesome animes. They really brought in the talent for these cards, but the Urshifu and Urshifu VMAX Single Strike and Rapid Strike are not the only alternate art cards that they've included in the set. There's 6 total. Let me just show you them real briefly. So there's those 2. There's an Empoleon V where he's got a bunch of Carbrinks. I think that's what that guy's called, rolling around on top of him. He's doing some sort of pose. Who's teaching him here in the background? It's like Mineshfu. I don't know the names of some of these newer guys. Awesome card though. Look how detailed the background is. Once again, he's in this tropical landscape with waterfalls. It's lush. Here's a Tyranitar who just ate way too much food and he's passed out under a tree. And there's like a Tepig or Pig Boy over here chilling with him, because you don't eat alone, you eat with friends. Makes sense. But what an awesome card. This is an illustrator, Hayogonosuke, which we've seen these illustrators before. Here's some of their other work. I always look this up. I'm always curious to see what illustrators have done in the past. This is one of my favorite cards from Cosmic Eclipse, the coughing card. It's like a graffiti card. Dude, this is talent. This is heat right here. That's what I'm saying. And then we also have an Urshifu V, so not the VMAX, but this is an alternate art version. So there's regular versions of these ones as well, but these are the alternate arts. And Urshifu V Single Strike. That was the Rapid Strike one. And these artists are also well-known artists that have been working with Pokemon for a while. You can look up all their catalog on pkmncards.com. That's where I go. It seems like around the XY era is when full art, alternate art cards started to make an appearance. I really consider an alternate art card a card that has the same name as other cards, but it's a full art card and incorporates much more detail and character elements than just the regular full art cards. So like these shiny cards where it's just the Pokemon on a shiny background and they're not like one of one art styles, they're duplicated across many different Pokemons for that kind of shiny template, then I don't really consider that alternate art. But this Jirachi here, this is a very unique background created just for this card. This Togepi Cleffa Igglybuff is a great example. Look how much is going on. There's grapes and Pokeballs and all sorts of things in the background. Shaman, is that a Rayquaza that's flying around? I don't know. But there's a lot of times other Pokemon in these cards that makes them really interesting. This Yveltal card is beautiful. There's an Xerneas in there as well. It looks like a tag team card, but this is before tag team. This was EX. These cards are just amazing. XY plays around with them as promos and then also with their secret rares. I think there's a couple of sets This is Breakthrough that we see what we would consider maybe later in Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield as alternate arts, but they're called secret rares here because they haven't introduced the rainbow secret rares till GX. Look at this Mewtwo. There's a Magnezone and Chesapeake Bay, and you got Zoroark and Zobeen. Anyway, lots of friends, lots of fun, super unique, one-of-one artistic treatments. I love these cards. I think they're all going to be worth a lot of money someday because there's no other cards that emulate these styles. They're created just for that one card. You'll see it again here in Breakpoint with the Gyarados. He's got a Manaphy and a Greninja just surfing along with him. I love this card. It's beautiful. And then Alakazam, that's also one of my favorites. He's got friends, Umbreon. Is somebody else back there? I can't really tell. Somebody else? Fine, Lugia. There you go. What a cool card. The detail and the interplay between multiple Pokemon on the same card is what makes these cards super special. And that's, I think, why with Tag Team, they leaned into this more than they ever had before, because Tag Team cards already had multiple Pokemon on them. So the alternate art treatment just seemed like a no-brainer. We got to show these Pokemon interacting with each other. And that's what they did. So starting with the team up set, which is right here, we see there might have been 5 or 6 alternate art cards, which means you have the regular card, the regular GX card, Latios and Latias GX. You had the full art Latios and Latias GX, which it just had a gold background and just the 2 Pokemon. Then you had the secret rare Latios and Latias GX, which is the rainbow treatment right here. And then you had the alternate art version, which is just as hard to pull as the secret rare version. But look how much more they're giving you than just with the rainbow treatment. This feels so bland, and it is a beautiful card. It's super bright, super shiny. It's got great texture. But then when you compare it to this, it just has no character. It has no life in it. The Lover's Art card is, well, it's appreciated in value more than 2 times in the last 2 months because I shipped one of these into PSA in December and it was $71 market price and now it's $211. And I remember they were selling for around $400 in PSA 10 on eBay at that time, and I just saw one sell for close to $1,500. So this card has jumped up in value. I think part of it is people realize as they're turning back to the Sun and Moon era cards, that the alternate art cards are the best cards of that era. You can go after all the secret rares, but they're all gonna look the same. If you put them up in a collection on a wall, and you're looking at them from afar, you can't even tell what Pokemon they are. They're just a bunch of rainbow cards. Not to knock on the secret rares, they're still extremely hard to pull, and it's a great way of kind of commemorizing in trophy form some of your favorite Pokemon. But if you want more story form, commemorization, you want the alternate art, like the brother and sister flying around together, forming a heart with their necks, or the Magikarp blowing out the blowhole of Wailord, which I've talked about this card at length. I won't go into it here. The Gengar Mimikyu card, they're hiding under a blanket together, playing, I don't know, scare the little boys and girls around town. I don't know what they're doing. It's just, use your imagination. It's awesome. I've talked long enough about this, but my point really is to say that when you look at all the full art or secret rare cards together, it starts to feel boring. I know this because I sort my collection this way. I have all my full art Vs, all my full art V Maxes, all my secret rares. They're all together. I flipped through it, like at first glance, it looks really cool because they all fit together very well. But then I don't even have any urge to go through and just kind of take a look at each individual card because I know there's nothing to examine. The alternate art cards are so different than that. Here's a Mega Lopunny Jigglypuff GX, and they're sharing a sweet embrace. It's beautiful. I don't know. It's just like you want to take a closer look at each one. And that's exactly how these battle style cards are going to look. People are going to be dying to get these cards because they have very unique character, and you're going to want to look at this card and admire the artwork. Anyway, Battle Styles, hot set. Better set than Shining Fates in my opinion. it is because of these alternate art cards. I'm so happy they're making a comeback. There's so much detail and creativity that goes into them. Shout out to the illustrators and artists that spent hours and hours and hours coming up with these. Can't wait to see what else they have in store in future sets. I'll be having more videos soon. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you, Bug Brigade, for sticking with me, and we'll talk to you later. Peace out.
Pull the shiny Charizard, I'm feeling so alive, yeah. I am like a legendary flying through the sky, yeah. Put you in a binder, you know I could treat you right, yeah. Leaves on top of sleeves, great intense is what I like, yeah. I promise this is not a fad, it's so much more than hype, yeah. I've been cracking packs since the time that I could write back. I was just a kid saving quarters on his nightstand just to pull another item finder from a light pack. Pay the grip, I'ma blow it quick. Pray to Pikachu, we hit.